Your UH starting five, number 5, Corey Davis with a big week. 35 total points. The American Conference's number 1 three-point shooter by volume. And the UCF starting five, number 1, B.J. Taylor back after missing 16 games, coming off a 20-point performance against UConn on Wednesday. Ball stolen away. Here come the Cougars. Ahead to Gray. Foul's going to be called on the Knights, and that'll be on Cesar de Jesus.
I think one of the more underrated things about this Houston team is its team defense. Third best in the American Conference in field goal percentage defense. They practice tough. We saw that last night. They play tough. We saw that in the first possession.
Rob Gray, the 6'1", 185-pound fifth-year senior guard at the line. There's his coach, Kelvin Sampson. In his 4th season, he says, we're pretty good at everything, not great at anything.
Yeah, I might take issue with that. I think if you're inside the bubble, you're 16-5. You've got some pretty good stuff going, some pretty great stuff.
Looking inside for Chad Brown. He's the guy that's replaced Taco Fall in the starting lineup. A.J. Davis on the drive. And Brady comes away with it for the Cougars.
Both teams have opened up man-to-man, Matt, but UCF will play a lot of zone.
Galen Robinson on the dribble, the junior out of Houston, Westbury Christian. Rob Gray, lob pass, poor pass, intercepted by Davis. And stolen by Gray. He's got a man open. Robinson ahead of the pack will lay it in.
Trading turnovers. The problem is the UCF turnover led to another turnover.
Cougars early 4-0 lead in this ball game. 23rd all-time meeting between these two teams dating back to their days in Conference USA.
Houston, not an overly big team. They will double the low block, big on big.
Davis inside for Brown. Shot contested. Foul going to be called on the Cougars. Johnny Dawkins in his 2nd season as the Knights head coach says we're always teaching how we handle adversity. How we do it determines who we are, and that has been a big storyline for them this season.
And they've had to deal with a lot of injury adversity, and it started before the very first game.
His son, Aubrey, suffered a labrum injury. And there's Aubrey right there. They expected him to be a part of the mix this year, but right off the bat, as they were starting practice, they lost him.
Chad Brown has been really good filling in for Taco Fall, as now Fall, who had surgery this week and is gone for the season. Chad Brown has gone from the appetizer part of the menu to he's one of the entree guys now.
And he's a 6'9" big. He's got good size, but when you compare it to 7'6" Taco Fall, he stands in his shadow, as does pretty much every other human on the planet. Brady inside with the left hand.
Nice job of walling up defensively by Brown. I think that's the kind of possession, Matt, that Johnny Dawkins wants. He wants his defense to dictate the pace of the game.
Davis on the drive, shot contested. He goes down in a heap, and the Cougars come away with the ball. Davis, prolific three-point shooter, number 1 in the conference, almost 3 threes per game, knocks down his first, and the Cougars lead by 6.
Not only did Galen Robinson Jr. provide the helper there, I think he created the space. Yeah, Houston trying to down the screen, which just means keep the ball on the same side of the floor.
Beating the shot clock buzzer, Terrell Allen.
Yeah, he's been a very inconsistent shooter this year. 31% from beyond bonus land. Welcome sight, because in his last 2 games, he's been 0 for 4 from beyond the arc.
But he can come up big. Had 16 points in their upset at Alabama back in December. Chad Brown snatches the rebound.
That Alabama win, big-time Quadrant 1 win. UCF's only Quadrant 1 win.
Taylor in the paint. Rebound controlled by Davis.
A lot of tempo here early on. I think this favors Houston.
Gray hit the bottom of the backboard but was fouled on his shot.
Let's go back to the steal by Davis. There's the run into, as I'm talking about Galen Robinson Jr. Not only was he the assist guy, but he mashed Taylor out of the way. If you can get away with it, good play.
Gray, the number 5 free throw shooter in the conference, just under 84%. He leads the team in makes and attempts. 18.3 points per game, but really more of a scorer than he is a shooter.
Great finisher, great mid-range, hard to guard, creative off the bounce, and maybe the best man bun in the game.
If you're into that kind of thing.
How can you not be, man? 16 wins, lead the conference.
I'm all about the 16 wins and the leading the conference, but now you're talking about hairstyles. Hey, but it works for him. Gray gets inside, pumps, and gets the basket.
That's exactly the kind of play I'm talking about by Gray. He invites the contact.
Davis off glass. A.J. Davis, son of Antonio Davis, out of Atlanta, averaging 10 a game.
Really a great slasher in his own right and has the great size to be a great finisher at the rim.
And he really can get the rebounds. He's the number 1 defensive rebounder in the conference. He's number 2 overall.
Matt, I think he held this team together in the absence of B.J. Taylor. He's just asked to do so many things.
Devin Davis with the big spike. Block shot. Here come the Cougars back the other way with the 4-point lead. Inside to Brady. Left hand. Nice touch.
He caught the ball with both feet in the paint. Ulvydas too soft. Block-to-block defense.
Brady averages just under 5 a game. Coach Sampson really after him in practice last night to go strong with the basket. Go strong with the ball to the basket. Another turnover for the Knights. To Davis on the move. Missed the layup. Bodies on the floor.
Yeah, but this kind of 94 feet action is not to Johnny Dawkins. And Matt, I thought B.J. Taylor a year ago made more tough shots than any other player in this conference.
Like that one right there.
On cue.
Well, B.J. Taylor and Miles Douglas, along with Nathan Lang, when we walked into practice yesterday, they were over sitting in the stands. All 3 of them suffering from a respiratory illness, but as you see, Taylor is playing today.
Last 3 games, Taylor and his numbers. So strong upper body. McSpadden's got to shoot that.
And he's another guy that we left off of our injury list, but he's just back. This is just his 2nd game back after missing a month of action with a high ankle sprain.
I mentioned UCF would zone at some point in time. The problem with zoning Houston, all the 3-point shooters.
Oh, my goodness.
How about Ulvydas with a little rim protection?
Yeah, kid from Texas Tech. In the corner, McSpadden gets the bounce.
Wouldn't you love to play with a B.J. Taylor, his ability to find you?
Well, when we talked to Kelvin Sampson at practice last UCF without Taylor. Gray dishes. White with the finish. Fabian White, the American Conference Rookie of the Week.
The challenge for both of these teams is to keep the guards in front defensively. So whether you're talking about Rob Gray or B.J. Taylor, if you're guarding them, you must do a better job keeping them in front. Don't let them beat you off the bounce.
McSpadden will try another three.
Now, that's a guy just shooting 21% from the year, so maybe that first one, maybe a little fool's gold.
Well, at 21%, when you take your next one, you got to figure the next four are going to be misses. Under 12 to play here in the first half. Cougars lead by 6.
In the Lenardi conversation, they have to win today.
Mark, for the record, I'm constantly trying to keep from moving up in weight class, but it's a constant battle. Foul's going to be called on the Cougars. And we've heard a lot about quadrant one from you today. Tell us exactly what you're talking about here.
Well, the NCAA has done a better job of equating road wins versus home wins. So here's quadrant one. If you beat a team in the RPI 1 through 30 at home, it's quadrant one, and you can follow along. Neutral 1 through 50, road 1 through 75. UCF's RPI today is 69. That makes this for Houston a quadrant one opportunity, and why this is a big game for the Cougs. When you take a look at what Houston has left in terms of quadrant one opportunities, here's the back half of the league schedule and the opportunities that exist. Can you get me a ticket to that Cincinnati game?
That'll be fun.
There's a good look at Kelvin Sampson.
And Fabian White's got a quick ticket to the bench. Just picked up 2 quick fouls. That's been an issue with this young man. Foul trouble. Been an issue with this Houston Cougar teams. They've had 14 DQs among their squad this year.
When we talked to Kelvin Sampson last night and I asked him what area would he like to see improve, what did he tell us? More judicious with our fouling.
Well, Mark, it's a fine line. They teach aggressiveness, but they foul too much inside. And quite frankly, a lot of that has to do with the guys who have the whistles in their mouths. You can't control that. So you don't want to back off the aggressiveness, but you don't want to foul too much either.
Now you're sounding like a coach.
8 on the shot clock. Van Beck drives. Contact. Van Beck, no offensive foul on Van Beck. He's the only fourth-year senior on the team.
That's where the UCF defense was better than the Houston offense. We talk about Taco Fall and his uniqueness because of his length. But this is a UCF team that is longer than just Taco Fall. So they can defend even in the absence of Fall. But I will tell you this, Taco Fall is a scouting report changer.
Yeah.
Shot blocker, shot changer, alters the way the game is played.
HoustonUCFUlvydas off glass. The average is only 2 points per game, so he's got his average right there.
Take the charge on one end, score on the other.
Redshirt sophomore out of Lithuania by way of Texas Tech. Prepped at Mount Zion in Maryland.
This is what UCF wants. They want a half-court game.
Van Beck. Long kick-out rebound. Cougars still plenty of time on the shot clock and take the shot. Devin Davis knocked it down.
I'm calling that the Davis zone. This is the third time I have had Houston this year, and Davis might be the best baseline jump shooter I have seen all season.
Ask Mike Anderson in Arkansas about that. He went off for 28 against the Razorbacks this season. Trouble for the Knights. 4 on the shot clock. Tie up. Turnover forced by the Cougars. Run out for Davis. He gets fouled. Tonight on ESPN, we've got the basketball version of the Red River rivalry at 6:15 Eastern when Trae Young and the 12th-ranked Sooners take on Texas. Then it's a Big Ten matchup as number 5 Michigan State takes on Indiana. Both games are on ESPN and live on the ESPN app. Trae Young coming off a 44-point performance in the Sooners' 98-96 win over Baylor on Tuesday.
Well, when you're the leading scorer on the team, look at the attention you attract. 1, 2, 3, 4 red jerseys. And that creates the turnover.
Devin Davis shoots up over Moomin. Rebound Van Beck.
Van Beck is one of those, what do you need, coach, guys? Need an occasional score or rebound, take the charge guy.
Zana inside. And you're right about Van Beck. Watching practice last night, you know, every 15 or 20 seconds, you heard the coaches say, way to go, Van Beck. Way to go, Wes. Way to go.
Well,
good job, Wes.
He was running
that's
with
the way we want it, Wes. I mean, just affirmation after affirmation for this young man.
He was running the scout squad. He was B.J. Taylor last night.
Under 9 to play in the half. 6 on the shot clock. Turning the ball over here for Allen. This has been problematic for the Knights this year. They are 10th out of the 12 teams in the American Conference in committing turnovers. 14.5 a game.
Of course, they played 2 months, did Johnny Dawkins' team, without their best ball handler in B.J. Taylor. You know, one of the things that Dawkins and his team missed the most about Taylor being out? A year ago, Taylor made 126 free throws. So that kind of scoring dimension they really missed.
Foul called on the Knights.
I talk about Gray's ability to finish at the rim, beat you off the bounce. Has been in a little mini slump, really. Just 5 for 26 in his last 5 from bonus land. Asked Kelvin Sampson about it. Said he talked to him. He talked to him about his shot selection. When you're 5 of 26, one of 2 things is happening in your game. Either you had a dip in confidence or your shot selection is poor. There is no other reason.
He's the leading scorer for this game so far today. That's 6 points for him. Missed a chance for number 7, but Zana got the rebound.
Kind of the first danger zone, I think, for UCF today.
Screen set by Zana. 10 on the clock. Now they get it to Gray with 7. He's going to break it down here against Allen. Drive, kicks it to Zana, and a foul is going to be called on the Knights.
Again, I talk about you must keep Gray in front of you defensively. Because when he beats you off the bounce, it's the help defender. He rejects the screen. So Uvidas has to come over, and Griffin is late on the close down defensively.
Zana just a 50% free throw shooter. And looked like it on that attempt right there. He's a grad transfer from LIU Brooklyn.
Yeah, you could tell because he was leaning over the line. He was trying to will that one in.
He's much better from 4 feet and in. Leads the team 55% field goal shooting. Comes up empty on both attempts.
Yeah, you miss 2 free throws, Matt. No different than a turnover.
Except for the fact that UCF got charged for their 5th team foul in the process. Ulvydas, challenge shot by Devin Davis, and a foul called on Davis. And that'll be the first on him. Team foul number 5 on the Cougs.
I'm talking about Trae Young and Colin Sexton Duval from Duke. I'm telling you, Trae Young is in a different stratosphere. He is the most fun player to watch in college that I've seen in the last 8 to 10 years. I think he's the closest thing to Chris Paul that I've seen. But you're right. You said 14. Doesn't it seem like Kansas is going for their 72nd straight Big 12
have they ever not
title?
won it? Yeah, that's the question. Have they ever not? There's a whole generation of college basketball fans who don't know anything but the Jayhawks winning the Big 12 championship.
Now here's the zone I talked about. 2-3, and it's long on the wings.
Ten on the shot clock. Davis on the other side. Canned it. That's a 2.
Automatic, man. I'm telling you. Baseline guy. The Davis zone.
14 for Davis. He's a fifth-year senior by way of Odessa Junior College. Dayon Griffin way off the mark. Rebound inside. Davis challenged at the rim. And the pass is stolen. Van Beck threw it right to Allen. Now Griffin again gets a second chance, and this time he's perfect.
Always seems to work out that way, doesn't it? Make a bad mistake with the basketball and get burned on the defensive end.
Brady inside. Rebound Davis. Foul called on Davis. NBA Saturday primetime game on ABC tonight. James Harden, Chris Paul, and the Rockets are in Cleveland to take on LeBron and the Cavs. 8:30 Eastern, 5:30 Pacific. Rockets have won the last 2 against the Cavs. Our coverage tips with NBA Countdown at 8 Eastern. You can always watch it on the ESPN app if you're out and about. And, of course, the big story this week, LeBron dismissing as, quote, nonsense the report that he would take a meeting with the Warriors when he's back in free agency after the season's over.
Yeah, let these guys play the season now. Let's worry about that in June and July.
But what would the NBA be without the drama? Inside.
Right now, UCFUlvydas, who has had a very minor role on this squad, is now the backup big to Chad Brown. He's actually playing the Chad Brown role that Brown played for Taco Fall.
So Brady called for the foul. That's number 2 on him. And now Zana will come in. So you've got Brady and you've got White, both with 2 personal fouls. And this is what really killed them in the Cincinnati game. They had an 18-point lead, 33-15. At Cincinnati this week, and ended up losing by 10. And foul trouble with their bigs really ended up being a big factor in that loss.
Kelvin Sampson, known to come to the arena in coat and tie. You can tell the importance of the game by how soon does the tie and the coat disappear. And there we showed you.
Got to be free to work.
You know,
and
Houston
the coat
was
and tie just encumbers you.
You were talking about the Cincinnati game. Houston was so good in the first half. They did some things offensively that people just don't do against Cincinnati.
Well, they had 8 steals against Cincinnati, building that 18-point lead, but then the Bearcats committed just 2 the rest of the game.
Oh, those last 3 minutes of the first half were tough for the Cougars.
Speaking of tough shot attempt there by Griffin, bumped as he was shooting. To the corner. First 3-point attempt by Brooks in this ball game. Armani Brooks, their sophomore out of Round Rock. He's another one of their prolific 3-point shooters. He's number 7 in the conference in 3-point shooting. Van Beck called for the foul.
Great find by Gray on the diagonal pass. You know, Brooks is a catch-and-shoot guy. 77% of his shots are from beyond bonus land. He's made 3 or more threes 9 times this season. But they have a multitude of guys who can knock down shots from the perimeter with regularity.
Foul, by the way, was on Zana, not Van Beck. UCFUlvydas hits the free throw. Knights are not a good free throw shooting team. They are last in the conference, under 63%.
Well, that's the one upside of Taco Fall being gone. His 46% free throw shooting they don't have to live with. UCFUlvydas, the X factor here in the first half.
He's got 6 points. Davis, rainbow 3 over the outstretched arms of Terrell Allen.
I talked about Brooks making 3 or more threes 9 times. Davis has done it 10 times.
He had a team high 18 points against Cincinnati, 17 points against USF on Sunday. DeJesus missed the floater. Oh, last touch by the Cougars. Gray passed on an opportunity to grab it. He thought the Knights had touched it last.
Always run down the rebound when you can. Okay, so you want to be an official, Matt? Take a look. I thought that went off Zana.
Gray didn't think so. 5-point lead for the Cougs. Griffin misses the floater. Robinson races up the floor for the Cougs. Gray got his man in the air. Now Davis launches another three. Foul on the floor.
I love the extra pass. Ball movement, sharing. In transition, watch the number of passes. 1, 2, and then 3.
Yeah, I was watching them in practice last night. I got vertigo. They were moving so fast.
I thought this team would miss Damian Dotson from a year ago. He's with the Knicks now. But because of Corey Davis Jr., because of Brooks, Van Beck, this is a better team. They've got better pieces. They're deeper. Their front court is better. This is an NCAA tournament team.
Yeah, Gray says you're right as he knocks down the 3. 9 for him. McSpadden. Davis.
But his momentum took him away from the rim and not toward the rim.
Woo! How about that step-through move right there by Galen Robinson?
He's the push guy. He's the guy that Kelvin Sampson says, you got to get us going. I wonder if that's some lingering effect.
Well, he's back out on the floor right now. Coach Dawkins says, look, we know he's not all the way back from that foot injury that cost him 16 games, but we're seeing signs of it, and we know it's going to happen before the end of the season. Knight shooting only 30% from the floor in this game. Allen misses. That won't help the free field goal percentage. Davis. Offensive rebound and a miss.
Well, I love the action. Both teams. Armani Brooks, the defensive rebound and almost had the putback. Houston switches everything on the perimeter, 1 through 4. Not enough body movement, I don't think.
Davis gets stonewalled. 5 seconds on the shot clock, and they left him an avenue to step through and get the bucket.
Pivot, 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 yeah. Lose your man, score.
I don't know why they dropped off the double team when they did. That left him an avenue to score. They had him boxed in. Robinson flips his over his shoulder.
You should not be able to do that against the zone. What a blur, though.
Taylor, 1 for 4 from the floor.
Matt, don't you feel like this is a really important last 2 minutes of the half for UCF?
Foul called on Taylor tonight. Our WBO super middleweight title fight kicks off top-ranked boxing season on ESPN. Undefeated Gilberto Zurdo Ramirez at 36-0, 24 knockouts. Makes his 3rd title defense against Habib Ahmed. Also unbeaten at 22-0 with 17 KOs. We'll have coverage of the undercard bouts on ESPN News starting at 9 Eastern, then at 10:15 Eastern, 7:15 Pacific on ESPN, ESPN Deportes, and the ESPN app. Mark, Teddy Atlas says Ahmed has no shot to win.
I agree, totally. Now Gray has bounced out of this mini slump beautifully today. But he has missed a couple at the free throw line.
Yeah, he's left some points there at the free throw line, no doubt. That's 3 misses for him at the stripe today. McSpadden. Big long strides through the paint.
Took him a while to size up Brooks, but the left-hander went to his natural left-handed ways. Oh, yes, inside.
Zana left open, and one.
I think UCF got confused. Are we man? Are we zone?
Yeah, they got confused all right.
High ball screen. Simple play, but watch Zana 13 roll. It's the two other guys defensively. McSpadden way out of the play as a help defender, and lack of communication defensively. Zana finishes at the rim.
You see his numbers, less than 3 points per game, getting extended minutes here in this first half with Fabian White and Breon Brady on the bench with 2 personal fouls.
I talk about the versatility of A.J. Davis. He's the 5-man right now for UCF.
Foul called on Gray. Number 1 on him.
DeJesus has been rather quiet here. Double figures 7 times this year. Coming off a solid game against UConn where he had 9 and 5. And really one of those Rookie of the Year candidates in this conference. We have a couple of them today.
Yeah, 3 times he's been named the American Rookie of the Week. That's his first point of the ball game. 74% free throw shooter. He's the best on the team. Averaging 9 a game, 27.5 minutes. He's a redshirt freshman out of Jersey City, New Jersey. Prepped at Mount Zion in Maryland.
After that miscommunication defensively, UCF simplifies things. Back to man.
Less than a minute to play in the half. Gray. Shot blocked by Davis. Cougars get it back. 3-point attempt, barely scraped the iron.
UCF could go 2 for 1 if they attack.
They're trying that. McSpadden off the mark. Timeout called by Kelvin Tournament Field to next 4 out.
Well, you're talking about a pro. You're talking about a guy that's in the first round, I believe. So, yeah, SMU's going to have some difficulties with their best player out of the lineup. And they're not a deep team to begin with, and it's been a rash of injuries for Tim Jankovic and his group as well.
Kelvin Sampson giving Rob Gray an earful. Not happy with the way his senior has finished this half. 6 in the half. Taylor, 4 in the half. Taylor, long 3-pointer off iron. That's the end of the first half with Houston leading 37-28.
From his vaunted getting to the rim, Taylor just 1 for 5 shooting.
Yeah, 2 total points, 2 assists, 1 turnover in 13 minutes of work. For the preseason first team All AAC. Cougars start the half on offense. They have never trailed in this game, led for 19-plus minutes in the first half. Devin Davis, rim out.
First 4-minute segment, vital for the Knights. Houston really making it difficult because they're keeping Taylor on the same side of the floor. I'd move him to the middle of the floor, give him a flat screen so that he can work either way.
Good defense on Davis. Shot blocked by Chad Brown, who gets his revenge.
Wow.
Way off.
That's wide left.
Gray fouled by Allen.
Great look in the corner in transition. Who needs Taco Fall? Chad Brown head up around the rim for that eraser.
He has really stepped up with the absence of Fall. Coach Dawkins says he has to be really conscious about playing without fouling because now his minutes are extended.
Averaging 10 and 8 since Fall has gone out.
Brady muscles it up in there. Big lineup on ESPNU coming up next. Number 10, Texas Tech at TCU. Two of the best offenses in the Big 12.
A big game is that Georgia-Mississippi State game. Georgia just getting into the mix. Mississippi State wants to get into the conversation.
Yep. We'll wrap it up with UC Irvine and Cal State Fullerton tonight at 10 Eastern. Allen just picked up his second foul.
No coat, no tie.
Davis dishes. Brady left alone. Passes up the shot. Davis, corner three. Fresh 30 for the Cougs. They don't need 30. Shot blocked by Davis. And out of bounds. Off the Cougs.
We talk about the length of UCF, even in the absence of Taco Fall. Great block by A.J. Davis to deny Rob Gray.
Third block of the game for the Knights. Of course, Taco Fall got nearly 2 per game when he was still playing and still leads the conference statistically.
But, Matt, we can talk defense and rebounding all you want. UCF has got to score points.
There's no doubt they are the number 3 scoring defense in the country, but when it comes to offense, that's a different story.
Well,
maybe some offense out of this. And a foul by Davis.
If you're having trouble, let your defense rescue your offense. Quick hands of Allen started that turnover and opportunity in transition. Davis shaking his head. He doesn't have to look down at Kelvin Sampson, right?
No. Deion Griffin at the line. 66% free throw shooter. That's about this team average. But they are 10 of 13 at the stripe so far today. They're shooting better than their average.
Terrell Allen really had kind of a role adjustment with the B.J. Taylor return. It's almost like Johnny Dawkins now has 2 point guards that he can rely on. But Allen was the point guard.
Well, think about the big challenge for Johnny Dawkins and his staff. I mean, they've had 2 major adjustments here over the course of the last 3 weeks. You lose Taco Fall at the same time you're getting B.J. Taylor back, which is no easy thing because he's been out 16 games and the team's used to playing without him. Now you got to work him back in.
As the calendar turns to February.
Gray barely scrapped the iron, but there is Brady to put it in.
Strength. Just a strength rebound, that time by Brady. 6'8", 250 pounds.
Brady now with 6. This matches the Cougars' largest lead. Foul on the Knights.
Yeah, Galen Robinson Jr. just up inside of B.J. Taylor. Taylor a little frustrated. Watch the push off top of your screen. Taylor extends that left elbow right in front of the official.
And let me tell you, Galen Robinson did a really good job of selling it, too.
Yeah, I mentioned a couple of theaters in my Inside the American.
You thought he'd been hit by a Mack truck. But a good job. Part of the game. Davis traveled. Just the 6th turnover for the Cougars in this game.
We kidded with Johnny Dawkins yesterday at practice. Ask him or any coach what you have to do to win. Defend and rebound. No, you don't. Stop that. You got to make shots.
Davis works his way inside, gets his own miss, goes back up again, gets his own miss, and puts it in with the 3rd attempt.
The one he made was the most difficult attempt of the 3.
6 for Davis.
A.J. Davis, double figures 11 times, 5 double-doubles. Held the team together, I feel like, in the absence of Taylor for 2 months. Has asked to do a lot of things for this team and can legitimately defend 1 through 4.
Chad Brown goes to the bench. By the way, Davis has 8 rebounds, which hits his per-game average. Gray slips it inside. Zana passes out and throws it away. And a timeout.
Today, huge game for Houston. You want to stay off that last 4 in, first 4 out.
Well, they missed a big Q1 victory opportunity on Wednesday night when they had an 18-point lead at Cincinnati, couldn't hold it, lost by 10. They've got another opportunity for that type win here today on the road.
Pretty obvious that Johnny Dawkins is relying on A.J. Davis right now, since B.J. Taylor is struggling. Wanting Davis to be creative off the bounce, uses length. He's a mismatch problem at 6'9".
Devin Davis called for that foul. That's number 3 on him.
I think Kelvin Sampson will let Devin Davis play with those 3 fouls right now.
Knights keep hanging around. They're down 7. They have not led at all in this game.
Little token pressure man-to-man. Let's see if Allen can keep Gray in front.
Ha. Good luck with that. Good job by Allen to stay with Davis as he got blocked by the screen. But a foul is going to be called on Davis, or Allen, pardon me.
Off the switch. High ball screen by Davis. Allen switches. He sees it and reads it. He's just a step late getting there.
3 fouls on him now. Dawkins doesn't make a move at the bench. Corey Davis hands another one.
Just catch and shoot guys. Davis, Brooks, Van Beck, Gray's ability. Hard to guard on the perimeter.
That was his 3rd 3 of the game. A.J. Davis on the feed from B.J. Taylor.
Angry Schwackums.
Foul away from the ball. If this is on Allen, that's number 4.
Room service from B.J. Taylor. And watch the two-handed angry Schwackums by A.J. Davis. In traffic.
Speaking of angry, how about Terrell Allen? 4 personal fouls. All of them have come here in the second half. And he goes to the bench.
Now that
is a huge development.
This will move B.J. Taylor to the point.
Less than 10 on the shot clock. Devin Davis, step back. UCFUlvydas got the rebound. And Corey Davis tied him up with stepping out of bounds as he did.
Look at Allen. Disgusted with himself, I think. 4 personal fouls in less than 6 minutes.
And as you pointed out, B.J. Taylor now moves over to the 1. Can he get his points playing the 1?
Well,
and they need him to get some points.
Remember I said earlier, go to the high ball screen in the middle of the floor where Taylor can go either way. And might be as good as anybody in this conference at attracting fouls from the bigs when they try to hedge and help.
Foul on Breon Brady. That's number 3 on him.
This is a good adjustment. Keep Taylor in the middle of the floor.
Griffin off a screen. Off the mark again. He has not shot the ball well today. 1 for 4 on his 3-point attempts. Brady banging with UCFUlvydas. Good job by the redshirt sophomore.
He was a pleasant surprise in the first half.
Jump ball called. Possession arrow favors the Knights.
The reason that this ends up being a jump ball, watch Taylor lose the ball as he starts his Euro step. See him fumble the ball right there, and that led to the ball right in front of Robinson, who was there to tie him up.
Seven on the shot clock. Griffin off a screen. Tried to split the defense. Foul called on the Cougs. Tonight on ESPN, we've got the basketball version of the Red River rivalry. 6:15 Eastern. Trae Young, the 12th-ranked Sooners, take on the Texas Longhorns, and it's Big Ten basketball. Number 5, Michigan State against Indiana. Both games are on ESPN and live on the ESPN app. Trae Young leads the nation in scoring, averaging 30.3 points per game. And he also leads the nation in assists.
And, of course, our best thoughts with Andrew Jones as he fights through his medical condition.
Taylor off the inbounds. UCF down 6.
30 points a game. 10 assists a game. People don't even realize that Trae Young averages 4 rebounds a game and 2 steals a game. It's not even newsworthy.
Jay Billis today on College Game Day said he doesn't play any defense. Well, who cares? He scores 30 a game and he gets 10 assists.
It's all about knocking in more than you let in, correctly?
Yeah, well, 30 points, 10 assists, that's 20 points, right? That's 50 points per game. A.J. Davis. Zana the rebound.
That's the weakest part of Davis's game, really, outside shooting. 22% from bonus land.
Gray, Dipsy Doodle got the bounce. And by the way, I'll point out Jay Billis was talking about him in regard to his NBA prospects and his defensive liabilities. Not so much on the college basketball floor.
I don't think I'm going to pay to go see Trae Young defend. Well, there's Taylor again, attracting so many red jerseys.
De Jesus with the floater. Under 12. Six on the clock. Robinson through the defense. UCFUlvydas with the defense. UCFUlvydas with the block. It'll be the Sooners' ball when we get back.
Matt, we talk about great guards can play at different speeds. Rob Gray on display. Houston still on stepping on the end line, but I think we have proof that wasn't the case.
Yeah, Chad Brown back in for UCFUlvydas as they come out of the timeout. But UCFUlvydas has been kind of a star for him today.
No question. Pleasant surprise.
Davis, and that's going to be rejected our way. Chad Brown, it looked good, but that was a Patrick Ewing kind of block right there. That was goaltending.
Yeah, that was the easiest goaltending call you'll ever see. I like that, though. You're big guys. That's what you want.
Yeah.
You're gonna get called. That's right. You're gonna get called for one every once in a while.
Make them think about it next time they float it up there like that. To the corner. How about De Jesus? His first 3 of the day.
I thought that was UCF's best half-court set the entire game. Good body movement, good ball movement.
Foul on the Knights and Griffin.
Go back to this last possession by UCF. Watch the ball movement and the body movement. All 5 guys are moving and spacing. Crisp extra pass. That leads to the wide open corner 3 by De Jesus. All set up by a super job of executing in the half court.
Gray. Wow.
Slasher, finisher at the rim, rejected the ball screen. Again, the key to guarding guys like Gray and Taylor, try to keep them in front of you.
He leads all scorers. He has 12. There's Taylor, splits the defense, challenges the defense, and makes it in.
We're entering the last 10 minutes of this game. Don't you feel like the two teams are kind of in the middle of the ring now?
Yeah. Behind the hump the whole day. They never led.
They've got to get a couple of stops in a row. And to do that, Johnny Dawkins comes out of the timeout in the zone. Weak spots right there, the free throw line and the short corner.
White's pretty much been a non-factor offensively because of foul trouble. Bounce pass to Davis. Goes back to White. Fumbled. Ball loose. Scramble. Clock winding down. And finally they blow the whistle with 6 on the shot clock. Jump ball. Knights will not have it. It will be the Cougars' ball with 6 on the shot clock.
Too many guys were reaching for the ball at first, Matt. Nobody was willing to go on the deck. And then once Davis went down there, it became a scrum.
Gray, trouble getting it in bounds, does to White, and then they throw it away.
Yeah, it's a freshman mistake by White. Panicked on the out under, plenty of time.
Well, Coach Sampson really likes Fabian White. Says, look, if there's whoever the best freshman in this conference is, I wouldn't trade any of them or that guy for Fabian White. But he's had a tough day. 3-ball, Taylor shoots the Knights back to within 2.
A season ago, nobody in this conference made bigger shots with more on the line than B.J. Taylor.
Foul on the Knights.
I think UCF has gotten better when they put Taylor at the point in the middle of the floor. He then goes off. Simple pass by Chad Brown, and somehow miscommunication. Corey Davis lost Taylor, who had plenty of time to line up that 3-ball.
Taylor 8 for 17 on his threes since he came back from his injury. Fabian White at the line. Cougars now 5 for 12 at the strike.
Well, here's an item to keep an eye on. Houston is shooting the bonus, but the Cougars have only committed 4 team fouls.
Knights a chance to take the lead. They have outscored Houston 22-13 since the Cougs led 37-26. Taylor. Griffin drives. Stonewalled. Still plenty of time on the clock. Down to 10. Now Taylor. Working against Robinson. Foul called. And Taylor fouled by Robinson.
But only team foul number 5. I was so impressed with Houston's recovering on defense. Chasing, closing out, not allowing a quality look. Allen and his 4 fouls come back in. Taylor, I don't know where he's going to sit, Matt, on the bench. It will not be for long.
Well, 8:52. They're getting him out before the 8-under timeout here. Just getting him a quick rest. Plus, you get the benefit of the extra timeout with the TV timeout.
And here's the versatility of Davis. Move him to the point.
Six on the clock, now 4 on the clock. Davis with 3 on the clock. Misfires on the 3-point shot. That is not where they want him shooting the ball.
No, that's a give-up shot. Remaining games versus quadrant 1 teams for the Cougars. It all starts today. And that's the reason why I thought, based on their resume, based on where they are with the bubble just inside on the last 4 byes, this is the biggest game of the year for Houston as of today, or this season. Monster game.
Big shot for White. Fabian White with just his 2nd basket today. He averages 6 a game, 4 rebounds.
Shot that with confidence, didn't he?
Yeah.
In a big moment for a freshman.
Yeah, he's got a lot of confidence. He's a good player. Had 10 points before he picked up 2 fouls in that Cincinnati game. Then he didn't score anymore after that. But Coach Kelvin Sampson will tell you, Fabian White was the best guy.
You can eliminate their defense from helping their offense. I think that's what happened. Now, They did a marvelous job the first time around on Young, Carter and company. Can they corral him again?
As we expected, B.J. Taylor back on the floor probably for the rest of this game. 6 on the clock. Taylor in a double team, going to have to give it up. 3 on the clock. Davis drives, forces it up there, did hit the iron. Gray comes away with it for the Cougs.
2 straight possessions now where the shot clock dictated the quality of shot.
Yeah, both times it ended up in the hands of A.J. Davis for all the things he does well. Shooting is not one of them. Davis, Corey Davis off back iron. Taylor saves it with the tip to himself.
That's a shot you can live with. Ill-advised pass there.
Stolen by Devin Davis.
He read that the whole way.
Gray flicks to the corner, and that was deflected. Hands on hip for Kelvin Sampson.
Yeah, both teams playing giveaway.
Eight on the clock. Again, the shot clock a factor here. Davis works inside. Shot was blocked by Devin Davis, but I believe he committed his 4th foul to do it. Other scores in the American right now: Cincinnati blowing out UConn, Memphis at East Carolina, South Florida at Tulsa. That's tomorrow. Temple and Tulane tomorrow as well.
That's a huge game for Temple, I think, tomorrow, because it almost is a validation game for them. We talk about Temple, we talk about the strangeness of their resume, and yet they have some quality wins, quadrant 1 wins that most teams would die for. Look down at quality wins: Auburn, Clemson, Wichita State, but they have some warts on their resume as well.
But let me tell you, that strength of schedule at number 1, the committee will reward them for that.
No question. The committee always asks these 3 questions: who did you play? Strength of schedule. Who did you beat? Quality wins. And where did you beat them? Road wins have always meant more. So you don't really have to guard Robinson. He's not a shooter.
7 on the clock. Robinson weaving. Now he does have to shoot with 3 on the clock. And the rebound controlled by DeJesus. Knights again come down the floor with a 3 that would tie the game. Taylor, stonewalled by Robinson, has to give it up. Griffin whips it underneath. Brown can't handle the pass, and Corey Davis with a great hustle to get on top of the loose ball.
Team defense. Superb. It's Davis who, first of all, was trying on the block and then dives back down on the floor. If you're the first guy to go to the deck, you're usually rewarded. Effort play, Corey Davis Jr.
So once again, the Knights miss on an opportunity to tie the game or take the lead. In that case, tie the game. They've had some opportunities here to tie the game. We're 5.5 to play.
UCF, Matt, has gotten this into a grinded out game.
Gray.
Love the early
16.
offense.
Griffin got stopped. Davis got stripped. Corey Davis committed the foul. Coming up on SportsCenter with Bucci and Michael Eaves, the Beard versus King James, Trey Young's Texas two-step day, and NFL MVP and Hall of Fame. All this and everything else, SportsCenter, 12:30 Eastern on ESPN and the ESPN app. Of course, a little thing called Super Bowl 52 tomorrow.
Who's playing?
Who's your pick? I'm not even going to acknowledge that ridiculous statement. Who's your pick?
I'm going with the Eagles. I'm going to go with the upset. You just wonder if B.J. Taylor's a little under the weather.
He looks like it, doesn't he?
Yeah.
By the way, if you care, I'm going with the Patriots 24-19. I'd like to see the Eagles.
You're giving a score? You're giving a score. You're going way out there. I'm way proud of you.
24-19.
There'll be more points than that.
I don't know. Have you seen the Eagles defense?
I've seen New England's defense.
Have you seen the Eagles offense? 5 to play. In the corner. Big basket. Armani Brooks had been quiet, and then he tells the crowd to be quiet.
That's a no-no defensively. You cannot give up a same-side drive and dish. You have to make the driver a scorer.
DeJesus with the crossover dribble. Got to the rim, but it fell off.
I talk about same side. Watch this, Matt. The ball's on the left side of the floor. The help defender here, DeJesus, comes in on Gray. The kick out, the corner three, the NBA metrics have told us is the best three-point shot there is. But DeJesus got guilty of Gray watching.
Free throw made by DeJesus. Cuts it back to 4. Pardon me, it stays at 5. It was 6, now it's 5. We'll see if he can make it 4. He's their best free throw shooter. Left one right there. But they have been good at the line today. 17 of 22.
How about this matchup? A.J. Davis on Rob Gray.
Falling away, Gray. Probably not his best shot opportunity right there. Last touch by Davis. It will be the Cougars' ball.
And DeJesus was so concerned about running out. You've got to collect the rebound first.
He said, yep, you got it right.
You know, when you're a fifth-year senior, you can get away with that. You know, freshmen, if they did that with freshmen, the official wouldn't even recognize him.
Gray steps up against Uvidas and puts it in.
When in doubt, go to your best player.
18 for Gray. That's his per-game average.
Taylor back on the floor.
He had scored only 11 points combined in their 2 games this week. Didn't matter against USF. It did against Cincinnati. DeJesus fouled. He'll go to the line.
At TCU and at Missouri.
You adapt to what you have, right?
Well, not only that, but the game. I mean, Pittsburgh with Jamie Dixon would just grind out wins. Quanzo Martin in his previous stops would just grind out wins. They've given the green light to guys, and they've benefited.
DeJesus 4 for 5 at the line today. Makes it a 6-point game. He was quiet in the first half. He has really stepped it up here in the second half as the Knights have made a run. Down by as much as 11 in this game. They've had opportunities to tie or take the lead. They keep hanging around. They have never led in this game.
We're going to see the ball in our 2 stars' hands a lot down the stretch. Gray and Taylor.
Gray off a screen. Back to Corey Davis. Davis floats it in.
But where did the ball come from? Rob Gray. Good decision. Simple play.
13 for Davis. Taylor working against Davis this time and gets the foul. They will not count the basket. Foul before the shot.
Yeah, both coaches going to their money players. B.J. Taylor. That could have easily been called an and one.
No doubt. No doubt. Taylor thought so too.
Yeah, he didn't agree. UCF trying to be the hang-around team at the free throw line. An area they have struggled in this season.
Taylor 9 points, 3 assists today, now in double figures. Remember, their star player, he fractured his foot in their opening game against Mercer and missed 16 games. Did not come back till mid-January. And then they lose Taco Fall. And through all of that, with a win today, the Knights could still be in a third-place tie in the conference standings. Amazing job by Johnny Dawkins. Maybe better than what he did last year.
I agree totally. Can the Knights get a stop?
Off the hands of Davis. That's trouble for the Cougs. Backcourt violation.
Doubled on the big. Davis just comes up shaking his right hand.
That's a bad sign for your three-point gunner. Maybe jammed a finger there on that errant pass.
Now, if you're UCF, there's no reason to panic here offensively. Run your stuff, get the shot you want. If it happens to be a three, so be it. I like Taylor driving the basketball.
Yeah, so does he. Kick out. Griffin, wide open three. Hit one early in the game from that spot and nails another. UCF is down only 2.
Ball screen and replace. So many times the open spot is where the ball came from.
Gray challenges the defense. 20 for Gray.
This is fun stuff now.
No breaks, all gas. Taylor, he banks it in.
Place. Great call from the bench. Great execution on the floor.
Houston has led for all but about 30 seconds in this game. Their lead has been whittled to 2. Gray goes right at the defense again. Off the back iron. Chad Brown the rebound. Chance to tie or take the lead. Under 10 on the clock. Taylor, stutter step, falling back. Rebound, Gray. And then Devin Davis ends up with it.
Taylor fumbled that ball just a little bit before the step back.
Gray goes right at Chad Brown. 9 on the clock now. Fabian White. 5 on the clock. Devin Davis steps through the defense and banks it in.
Johnny Dawkins wanted to travel, didn't get it.
Taylor gives it up. DeJesus off the front iron. Davis the rebound. And a foul called on the Knights.
How did Devin Davis step through the double team? Late in the shot clock, sees the crease. And that gets everybody in red up on the bench.
Coach, you got to stay shoulder to shoulder right there. You can't leave him a crack. And now Davis at the line, a chance to make it a 5 or 6 point lead.
I think UCF's response offensively, Matt, depends on what Davis does at the line.
Oh, willed it in.
I think if he makes this one, Johnny Dawkins' team needs a 3. Don't think once you get inside the last 40 seconds, you can't just trade 2s for 2s when you're down multiple possessions.
Who's going to shoot that 3? They're 3 for 8 on their 3s in this game. First things first, the free throw attempt by Davis. Nothing but net. Half a minute to play. Oh, my goodness. What a collision. No whistle. Taylor on the floor.
Oh, you have to call something. UCF was trying.
I mean, that's got to be a foul on somebody, right?
Correct. Trying for a dribble handoff. Take another look on the dribble handoff. Collision. You just have to blow the whistle there.
Well, it's got to be on Gray.
Something. Yes.
Gray was moving. It's got to be on Gray.
Well, again, it's one of the points of emphasis on those dribble handoffs to not let the dribbler run interference.
Robinson at the line. Misses it. Davis, opportunity for UCF, but they got to go. Timeout call. this time in the schedule to when they made it to the NIT semifinals. Best Division I season they'd ever had. Now we're down to 17 seconds.
It's way too slow.
Griffin firing the three and barely rippled the net. Underneath, DeJesus leaves it for Griffin, 7.7.
Yeah, that two did you no good. Still a two-possession game. Should have kicked the ball out.
And Corey Davis fouled. He'll go to the foul line.
I don't think Kelvin Sampson will be thrilled with the way his team played here in the second half, but I know he'll be thrilled to get out of Orlando with a win.
We are 5 minutes away from our next up, 10th-ranked Texas Tech and TCU for the Big 12, two of the best offenses in that conference, as Corey Davis, the big free throw, may have put this one to bed. 5-point lead for the Cougs.
I'll be watching that 6 p.m. game, Georgia and Mississippi State. Can the Bulldogs of Mississippi State contain Yante Maten?
Yeah.
Big win for Houston.
Taylor. Step through, that's it. Houston, 69.